want to take a moment to welcome everyone to the Watch This Shit podcast. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. My name is Seneca, the movie professor. And today, I have my collaborator and cooperator here, Young Sam. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, it's Young Sam, aka the Movie Apprentice.
That's my dog. All right. And as a special guest, we have a longtime listener, first time caller. I call her Danielle. She goes by Nikki. Go ahead and introduce yourself, lady.
Hey everybody, I'm Nikki. Glad to be here.
Okay. Now, just like with all our guests, you you get out of hand, I'm gonna have young Sam cut your mic. Fair enough? Fair enough. All right.
Never gonna happen.
With this podcast, we're gonna give you the definitive decision on whether you should go see a new movie or not. It's real easy. If we say, watch this shit, go out and enjoy some good cinema. If we say, don't watch this shit, avoid it as you would taking a couple of X pills before your debut public MMA fight. Or don't. You can do what you want. It may be fun, or you may be the reason you and everyone watching is embarrassed by your middle leg trying to join the fight. You don't listen to us, you put your life in your own hands. With all the controversy surrounding one of the stars of today's film, I'm surprised he had the balls to show his face in public. I mean, if my wife made me cry on the internet in front of everyone by detailing the illicit relationship she had with one of my son's homies, or if she had my daughter write a letter to a motherfucker that she was in love with and that died in the 90s before the little girl was even born, or worst of all, in front of my mama, in front of my hood, and everyone else, I went and slapped a man for telling a tame ass joke about my wife on live TV. Then she would later go on to denounce ever wanting me to do such a thing. I would never leave the safety of my home again. The world is too treacherous for this super wealthy, worldwide superstar of film and stage. Just goes to show you can have everything and still be a fucking loser. It's out of my system. I'm not going to say anything else about this weirdo's personal life. Remember this, friends. We have to separate art from the artist, even if they aren't smart enough to do it themselves. We got to judge them on the product. All right, let's get ready to ride together and die together. That's always been stupid to me. Why wouldn't we ride together and kill the people that's trying to kill us before they killed us together? It isn't as catchy, but at least you don't have to die to prove that that's your dog or the person that you love. Today, we're going to review Bad Boys for Life. Sorry, it's stupid as shit the way they did it. Why the fuck is the third movie for life and the fourth movie Ride or Die? It seems simple. Well, the way Diddy been acting, they probably should have just changed the name of the film altogether. Too soon? We pushing all the buttons tonight. Let's go. All right. Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when we run out of things to do? All right. Let's talk about the story. Damn. There were points in this film when Sam and myself, we looked at each other like, what the hell is going on in this movie? Okay. But it has to have a story, right? Last movie, Mike Lowry almost died. So this time, Marcus Burnett almost died. See, it's new. Martin's character goes on a vision quest and temporarily believes that he can't be killed. This is short lived and dropped with no explanation or resolution. It wasn't important enough to complete the writing on that plot, I guess. So why even write it? Whatever. The real story is that the bad boys' old captain, hold on. Why do people in this world call them bad boys? When I heard a character refer to them as that, I I don't think they ever listen, they're on a narcotics unit. Wouldn't people refer to them by their unit? Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. When they rep, they say 9-9? That makes okay, I'm getting sidetracked. The captain is retroactively put into a plot to defame his name, trying to pin him as a dirty cop. I have no idea what this is going to prove or solve. He's dead. I mean, he's dead. Who cares if some drug dealers say that he was on the take? Death is supposed to protect you from persecution. So, in order to clear this dead man's name, Mike and Marcus grab their little homies from the last movie and Mike's bastard son and go out to find the guy that's trying to frame him. Uh, Again, trying to frame a dead man. Will they succeed in clearing his recently besmirched name? Will we find out who this bitch is Mike is marrying? Will we find out how they just recast Marcus' wife and thought we wouldn't notice? you hear my tone, and you probably think, this guy doesn't like bad boys. That is incorrect, and you are wrong. I love the bad boys. Hold on, whoa, all homo. Anyway, the odd number ones are my favorite. In descending order, one, three, two, and I guess we had to talk about four. Will and Martin are well past their action movie prime, especially Martin. They still have a lot of chemistry, but this time it doesn't hit nearly as good as it used to. They have both lost a step physically and in the timing of their banter. I think these guys could still be used well, and it seemed like they were going to go into a more advisory role for the younger up and coming cops, along with Mike Son from the last film. But they stayed in it too long. Now they have to come up with ways to make Will Smith look vulnerable and Martin Lawrence look tough. They always played him like a bitch. The first movie less so. They they were damn near on even terms, but by the second movie, something switched and he was purely comic relief. That brings me to the thing that I seriously disliked. None of their riffs are funny. I don't think I laughed because of any of the jokes they attempted to tell. I laughed at some of the bullshit they tried to pass off as something that would actually happen. I laughed at the way the camera angles looked like they were playing a Call of Duty game on the PlayStation 5, but never at the stuff that they thought was supposed to be funny. Yes, I'm still mad about the story. A lot of stuff happened, but it wasn't a coherent narrative. The antagonist was the worst. Remember that time I said Godzilla didn't have any motivation? Now, imagine if a guy that can speak the same language as you and can use his entire face to emote still doesn't have a proper reason for doing the things that he does. It's frustrating. Just out of nowhere, he's coming at the bad boys. But why? I'm certain whatever his dumbass plan was, he would have been better off not even messing with these dudes. If they are only good for one thing, it's destroying the plans of evildoers. The damn alligator had more motivation than this guy with far less screen time. And he tried to recreate the ending of the second film. He had Martin and Will's wife held at gunpoint together and tried to force Will to pick which one of them he would save. What do you think he's going to do? Even if you kill one of them, even if you kill both of them, this is the most dangerous cop in Miami. You're staring him in the face. Believe me, once all of your shields are removed, you getting bullets put on you. Just stupid. Who wrote this shit? They stupid. Okay, let's get into the discussion. I don't want to take this too far myself. Let me get my homies in here. Young Sam, why do you think they just completely dropped the Invincible Martin subplot?
Yeah, because halfway in they were like, "This shit don't make no sense," and they just dropped it. It,
Yeah,
it
it
just
was
don't
dumb
make
as
no
hell.
sense.
It was dumb as hell. If you invincible, why do you have to hide during a firefight?
Like it came out of nowhere. Like as soon as they started off with this, I was like, "This is fucking stupid."
Immediately. Nikki, what did you think?
Yes.
What did you think of the humor that was on display?
I I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you on a lot here. Because I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the humor.
I'm
And
happy for
I
you.
I definitely disagree with you saying that number two, the second movie is number three. Second movie is number one. Period. Bad Boys 2 is number one. Superior.
You got bad taste in movies.
I was thinking maybe I'm not qualified to be here because I'm not agreeing with you, Seneca.
Well, so I'll say this. The thing that I like about film is that it's so subjective, right?
It
Just
is.
because just because I don't like something doesn't mean that you have to not like it too. If you like it, that's great. I'm happy for you. But everybody who has seen a movie has an opinion, is able to give their opinion on a movie. So even though we disagree,
Agreed.
and I'm about to prove that your opinion is wrong, that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to be here. So let's go.
That
Give
seems
me
to be
your
the nature of our relationship. So
yeah, it
okay.
is. Give me your favorite line or favorite joke from this movie. Go ahead. I'll wait.
I can't even give you one. I just, I, I did enjoy like it was well, I will say it was a lot better than 3. That was my
Ugh!
overall opinion. I did not like 3. I did not like 3.
Okay, okay. So, I can tell you my least favorite. My least favorite lines and jokes were the stuff about them being soulmates and that Martin owned Will Smith in another life as a donkey. It was the most unfunny ad-libbing I've heard all year.
I kind of like that one.
Mm-mm-mm-mm. Now, if Will Ferrell had put out some movies, right, then they would be trying to give him a run for his money. Uh, wow. Do you back to you, Nikki. Do you think what happened to Martin's wife in his film was the same thing that happened to the original Aunt Viv in Fresh Prince?
No, I don't think that was the case. I actually Googled it because that was one of my big questions was why is this happening? Like why? Because as soon as I heard that voice, I knew who it was. And so I was wondering why is she here? And from what I found on the internet, nobody really knows. But
So
she's
so
still
no information.
I don't think it was a Fresh Prince play because this woman is still dark skinned and that was like the big controversy around the new Aunt Viv was that they went from a dark skinned woman to a light skinned woman and that it was more lighthearted. And so I don't think that's the case here.
Uh-huh. But what if that was the one lesson he learned from the whole thing?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What if that was the one lesson he learned from that whole debacle? Just keep the skin tone the same and people won't get mad.
I don't think that's the case here. I think because it's been so long. Well, I mean, the last movie hasn't been so long, but I do believe that people just kind of outgrow their role, and that could be the case here.
Possibly. He's still a fucking jerk. And I think he's been a jerk for a long time. Sam, let's get to the root of it. Do you think this movie is good enough to act as a comeback for slapping the shit out of Chris Rock at the Oscars?
I thought about that and I was like, people are really easy to or quick to forget about what happened because I mean, this movie's made over 100 million, and they're
Hmm.
saying, "Oh, this put summer movie season back on track or whatever." I'm like, well, with this performance, I mean, Will he did have a good performance. I mean, he was like I said, he is the only steady one out of the whole cast. So I liked his performance, but I don't know if we can get past that slap. I mean, that was just a disrespect to the black community.
Yeah,
Can
it
I
was.
speak on that for a second?
Yeah.
So I agree that we do tend to forgive easily. I the slap was a very distasteful thing for me, and it really made me step back on Will Smith and look at him in a different light. I do agree with Sam in the fact that this performance was great, and he's the only consistent, consistently great performer in this franchise. But I do think that it was a relief seeing what I would consider the old Will on screen. Not to say that all is forgiven and not to say that he's not still a weirdo, but
Hmm.
it felt like the old Will. It felt like the Will who's not getting played by his wife every 5 seconds.
I agree.
Yeah, I can see that. One thing, Nikki, Sam
Mhm.
and myself were trying to figure this out. First of all, do you know the villain's name in this movie?
I do not.
No. Okay. It's okay. It don't fucking matter. Okay. Now, do you know why he was so mad at at Mike Lowry?
I don't understand the whole you're talking about the politician, right?
Not no, see, not even the politician, the damn
Okay, no.
the army dude that got captured by
Oh
the
yeah, no.
yeah.
I don't even know nothing about this man.
He was like, "Imma show," he's like telling his wife, he's like, "Imma show you that he's not the man you think he is. You don't know him."
Right. And that confused me when he said that because I'm like, what are we even talking about here?
Uh-huh. Lazy writing. Lazy writing.
I
All
agree.
right. See, even even that, right? Right. In the first movie, Will was so fucking cool. He was so cool that his name, Mike Larry, could be used for a synonym for Riz. I'm about to go over here and Mike Larry these bitches. See? Everybody would know what I was going to do. If I said that today, they probably would think I was going to physically assault somebody. Sam, did you like any of the action sequences?
Oh, I'm trying to think, and I liked the kind of the not the ending one, but with the son-in-law. I liked that action sequence. But I did not like the action sequence where they were in the, I guess, the Gator Park, and they just had the. Is that the one where they had the guns on, or they had the camera on the guns? Was that
They
one?
did it. No,
Or
they did it then, and they also did it when they was in the factory where Martin was trying to eat the jelly beans.
oh yeah, see, I think that they thought that that was a good
Mm-hmm.
shot, but
Mm-hmm.
that shit gave me motion sickness.
Yeah, it was
Just the
ugly.
way that it was set up. I don't know if we were sitting too close to the screen or what. I was like, hey, this shit is fucking with my head.
That's an interesting take because I actually noted that I really like the cinematography of this film.
I'm
Hmm.
not saying the cinematography was bad. Like the club scene, well, not the club, the art gallery scene, that was beautiful. Like the scenery was beautiful. It's just some of those shots just weren't there for me.
You know that first shot of Martin when he was in the gas station and it was like all in his face. His face looked
It was
very
weird.
distorted. It was
Yeah,
weird.
it looked like a GoPro, like a
Yeah.
bubble, a fish
Mm-hmm.
bubble lens.
Yes, it definitely
Mm-hmm.
gave a fish lens.
I'm glad you mentioned the club stuff, Sam, because that jogged my memory. I didn't get to write this into my into my script, but this movie has the honor of having the worst strip club scene I've ever seen in my fucking life. I've never been so angry and bored for a strip club scene in any movie. Oh,
Oh shit, the Tiffany Haddish scene. Oh
the
damn.
Tiffany Haddish scene. Yeah, she's the one that called them bad boys. I'm like, how does she know that they're bad? Who made them? Who nicknamed them bad boys?
And why are these bad boys so famous in the city?
Right,
But
right.
let's talk about Tiffany Haddish for just a second because I was very upset to see this woman on my screen.
Okay, why were you mad to see Tiffany Haddish?
Personally, I just don't like Tiffany Haddish, never have. But after the whole controversy that happened last year with her and the kids and
Uh-huh.
the other comedian, I didn't appreciate that they gave her a platform.
She was in the Haunted Mansion, right? She
I
was in a
did not
movie
watch
this
The
year.
Haunted Mansion.
Okay, she had a pretty big role in that film. Matter of fact, when I did the review, I said, "Damn, Tiffany Haddish, they let you out."
Mm.
But
But
that goes
Tiffany
back to
Haddish,
Sam's point. They tend to forget.
I think Tiffany Haddish has like a sort of a friendship with Will and Jada, kinda. So that's maybe how she got
That
in
would
this
make
movie.
sense.
That would definitely make sense. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Yeah, this movie, boy, this.
But everybody else
it
likes this movie. I mean, I don't know what.
not our theater. When me and Sam were watching this movie, there maybe one or two people would laugh at a joke, but the rest of the people would groan at the person laughing.
Well, there was only a total of like 7 people in our theater, and there was 4 of us. So
How is this movie making all this money? Wait a minute.
How's it making all this money? So now, back in the day, people used to have a conspiracy theory that big studios would buy tickets to the movies to make it look like they were more profitable than they are. They
well, I
blame
can tell you they
Marvel.
didn't buy no tickets because when we bought our tickets, all the seats were available, and we went on a Saturday night at 6 p.m.
Damn, that's
Yeah,
prime.
that is prime.
Yeah.
Yes, people should have been there. Maybe it's big in California, in Miami, New York. Maybe, I guess. It ain't big here because our theater wasn't full either. We saw it opening night.
Oh wow, and it wasn't full.
And nope, plenty of seats.
Hmm. Interesting.
But it made a hundred mil, right? So I guess, sure, sure. All right, Danielle, you got any points you want to bring up that we haven't discussed?
Let me check my notes real quick. Let's see. I like seeing DJ Khaled. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I
Oh
enjoyed
my
seeing DJ
god,
Khaled. I thought that was pretty funny. Just that small little cameo. I liked that. I did
That's
not like. I did not like how and you kind of touched on this a tad. Did not like how they made Mike Lowry soft. The panic attacks, like, what is even triggering this? Because there was no lead up to it. There was no backstory to it. Why are you triggered? Why can't you do your job? Like, and Mike Lowry, like you said, has a lot of ribs and he's smooth, like he's that dude. So I'm not understanding where this softness came from, and not to say that panic attacks is a softness because I do understand that's a mental illness, but I would like to have seen some type of lead up or something that would explain why this is happening.
Make it make sense.
Didn't they
Make it
just like
make sense.
all of a sudden just go away once him and his
Once he
son
got
like made
slapped,
up?
once he got slapped like Chris Rock,
Yeah, once he was like, "Oh yeah, it's not your fault." Like when Martin was like, "Oh yeah, it's not your fault," they just all just went away. I was like,
that was easy.
it didn't make no sense.
It was lazy.
Yeah, bad writing. I'm telling you, this movie suffers from the worst writing. They just did whatever. Sam, you got
It
anything else you
did.
want to go ahead?
I'm sorry. It did feel nostalgic though. I went back home and watched one and two after I went to go watch the movie, and so I think that kind of touches on what I said earlier about the fact that it felt like old Will Smith. It felt nostalgic, and so it made me want to watch the other movies.
Hey, that first one holds up.
Yeah,
Number
I
two for
agree with the
me.
nostalgia part because some scenes were basically the same shot for shot from either one
Mm.
or two.
Stolen.
And like the opening font, like the opening font theme, that was I think Bad Boys 1. I think it was that same font or maybe they used it in 2 also. I don't remember. But yeah, it's a very nostalgic movie, but it just falls flat very quickly. Like usually I remember things about some movies, like oh I remember it had a good soundtrack. I don't remember shit about this movie except it almost made me throw up.
Because of the motion sickness.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
Yeah, that's not a good impression to make on anybody movie. Don't don't let that be the memory. Come on.
I love seeing Reggie prove himself though. Reggie's fight scene, I enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that was one of the two action scenes that I liked. I liked the one
Yeah.
with the bastard son in the prison yard, and I liked the one where Reggie added 15 bodies to his count. He he was rocking it. But just like Sam said, I hated the cameras. The way that they were maneuvering the cameras was real
I
janky.
actually enjoyed it.
Mm. We play a
Well,
lot of
I will
video
I
games, so we see it every day
yes,
on
and I
the
will
damn
say
Xbox.
that you're an expert movie critic. And so you kind of understand the cinematography and the angles and stuff like that a little bit better than I do. So just from an untrained naked eye, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Speak
Okay.
Speaking of cinematography, me and Sin had this same gripe. Why were they making that one dude seem so fucking tall?
John Sally.
Why was
You
he
know, I
so
was
tall?
wondering the same thing because when I went back and watched The Boys One, he was regular.
Yeah,
He was fucking regular.
He was
It was weird.
regular.
It was weird.
It was. It was very weird. I
that
didn't
was.
understand that.
All
See, I
right.
think they were
So
just experimenting in the first half, and then they was like, "All right, let's take this back.
it's not working.
It ain't working."
This shit ain't working. Do be regular. Everybody be normal.
You know, I will say what I was kind of concerned about is, Martin Lawrence has had his health issues. That's been very public, and I was kind of worried that that would translate on screen. And I can say that I don't feel like it did.
Oh no, that towards the end, you could kind of see and kind of hear his whole demeanor change. It's like his words start
Mhm.
slurring a little bit more. I was like, something wrong with this motherfucker. Like if you go back and watch it and just look at the second half, and
Okay.
you'll hear he'll start slurring his words, and he just it seems like he's like incoherent almost a little bit.
Hmm.
Once you watch it again, you'll see it.
Yeah, I'll have
No,
to look back on that.
I won't be watching it again, so I won't see
God,
it. I'm gonna watch the first one and the third one again, and I'm done.
here you go.
All
Number
right.
two is superior.
No, it's not. Okay, so let's get into it. The second movie is so fucking childish. They stopped the movie so that we can watch two rats have sex. Really? Okay. All right. Martin took X, which is where the opening joke came from about the X pills, right? He
Hmm.
took X and was in the damn captain's house molesting himself in front of everybody. And is that comedy? Is that funny? No. No, that's not funny. The one cool scene, and me and Sam, we've talked about this offline, was when Will Smith was fighting them damn Haitians. That nigga was scary. I was scared of Will Smith after that. When he shot that dude through the peephole in the I was like, oh
With
my
the
God.
mirror.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
that's good.
Mike Lowry. That's
That's
what's
Mike
getting
Lowry.
me back on the screen.
That's Mike Lowry. All right. So the way we do it is when we do final verdict, we tell the people either to watch this shit or not watch this shit, right? Danielle, you're the guest. Let's let you go first.
This shit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The
All
silence
right.
was so loud.
Yeah. You said, hey, no, you said what you said. Young Sam.
Nah, I can't recommend this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm. Final verdict. Don't watch this shit. It seemed, it seemed with the last film that the franchise was on its way to improving. Martin doesn't have that same snap that he used to have, but you can tell he's been through a lot. Will can still turn it on when he needs to. But this film, it didn't seem like they had a real plan. The hope was to get over on the leads, but nothing was written well enough to give them anything to play off of. That wasn't their fault. As I know that if they had good material, they could sell it. It's not the 90s when they were both young and in their prime. You can't just let them ad lib an entire script and hope for the best. The nostalgia callbacks, I know some of my homies said it was cool, but to me, it's just like Ghostbusters. Stop. Stop nostalgia baiting us. Nobody's buying it. It's cool for the moment, but you didn't add anything. Do something new, something cool, or else your audience will eventually lose respect for you. I'm done. Thank you for listening to another episode of Watch This Shit. You come here for the realest take on new movies. So make sure you follow us so you're not left in the dark on whether you should check out a movie or not. If you haven't seen this shit yet, Danielle said go see it. But I say go on about your life. Don't even worry about it. Matter of fact, you're doing good. Damn, you're doing good. Check us out next time when we review The Watchers. And good day to you.